Hi, welcome to Northern Thrifters. My name is Melinda, and today is the first installment of my little virtual book club here on my YouTube channel. So the first book that I picked was The Golden Sun by Shilpi Somaya Gowda. I absolutely love this author. Her book, Secret Daughter, I really enjoyed, so that's why I picked this as my first book for the club. And I'm hoping you've read along with me over the month of May. So if you haven't read the book, I can just give you kind of an overview. I don't want to get too specific just in case you want to read it for yourself. So the story centers around Anil, who is a man from India who wants to become a doctor, and he ends up moving to the US, and it kind of describes how he develops his life in the US but is still pulled back to his family and life and culture in India. And it also has parts of the story that relate to Lena, who is a childhood friend of Anil, and it goes into how kind of her life in India, you know, traditional marriage, the results of that, which I don't want to get too specific because it'll give you some spoilers. But so it kind of ties both of those characters together, and how they're intertwined, how their stories kind of contrast and relate to each other at the same time. So I really enjoyed this book. I'm hoping it's quite true to what actually occurs in India because, well, I shouldn't say I'm hoping, but just because of how I'm going to, you know, review this book, I do hope it's accurate as to the life and culture of India. So I'm just kind of going on that assumption with my overall review. So how I felt about this book is I'm so glad, honestly, that I grew up in the culture that I did. I just felt like being a woman in India, like looking at Lena's perspective, I mean, I know if you grew up there, that's kind of just how it is, but just with how I've grown up, I don't know as who I am today if I could do that. And, you know, live where your parents arrange your marriage, you don't know who you're marrying, it could be a total jerk, right? You could have horrible things happen to you and then you're an outcast, and like I'm so glad I live in Canada and overall was raised in North America basically for my background. But on the other side, I'm sort of upset with how our culture is in North America because of the things Anil has to go through. Like, you're seeing his perspective coming here from another country, trying to better himself, trying to succeed, and sort of the obstacles that he faces with that. Like, it sort of makes it kind of negative also living here at the same time. Like, why can't we all just be welcoming, right? And let people try to succeed. So, what did you think of this book? I really enjoyed it. It really let me see kind of two other people's perspective. And I really enjoy that, being able to kind of see through someone else's eyes and think differently for a bit. And it can kind of change how I think about things just in my daily life. And there are a couple quotes in this book that I really, just really hit me. Let me just find, the one was at the beginning. So it says, when you counsel someone, you should appear to be reminding him of something he had forgotten, not the light he was unable to see. So it's actually just the quote at the beginning of the book from Balthazar Gracian. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Starting the book with that, I really enjoyed that. It kind of opened my thought process up a little bit. So it was a perfect quote to put at the beginning of the book. And then, let me see if I can find the other, my little, where are my little things? Oh, there's one. So the one, let me find the first one, because I think maybe in order. What happened to my Post-it note? It got bent inside the book. Okay. So this one is, so Anil was visiting Amber, who ends up, I hate giving spoilers, but Amber ends up being his girlfriend in the book for a while. So he's over at her apartment at one point, and she had gone into the kitchen to make tea. And here's the quote. To me, it's so telling. Anil heard clattering from the kitchen and was unsure what to do. in India, offering to help someone, particularly a woman, with the common hospitality task of making tea would be considered an insult. Like, I found this such a small thing that Anil was dealing with, but it showed kind of the larger picture of him in America, not knowing really what was right to do in any given situation. Like, certain things come up in the book. And this one, it was just such a minor thing that he's sitting there, oh, should I go in and help her? I don't know. Like, it's just interesting to show the difference between the two cultures. I just love that quote in there. And then another one, now what, I'm just trying to think of the context of this one. Oh, this is where, okay, he was with Pia. Okay, so they were sitting out talking, and he said, so he glanced down, he's in India at this point. So he glanced down at the electric blue athletic gear he'd worn this morning with the intention of going for a run, and realized it was even worse than Mahesh had claimed. Not only was it impossible to truly belong in America, but he didn't fit in here anymore either. He was a dweller of two lands, accepted by none. And I just love that quote in here because it really kind of it sums up this story in a nutshell. You're really watching Anil struggle. He kind of feels like he doesn't really belong in India, goes to the States, kind of doesn't belong there, travels back to India. He's constantly not feeling accepted by either culture. And this just summed it up for me. He was a dweller of two lands, accepted by none. And then the other thing about this book that I really liked, it begins and ends with a game of chess. And throughout the book, Anil carries a chess piece with him. So really, the thread goes all the way through. So I really enjoyed how she did that, where he's playing chess at the beginning and then he's playing chess at the end. I won't say with who so that it doesn't spoil it for anybody. It's so hard to do a review without spoiling stuff. So let me know if you care about if I spoil stuff for people who haven't read the book. Like, should I care? Let me know down in the comments for future ones. But I really like that because it kind of felt like the author maybe was commenting on how our lives are like games of chess. Like, we have intricate moves, very small moves that we make that have sometimes drastic repercussions. And I just thought it was really neat how it just tied it all together. And the other thing in the book, though, that bothered me is how, and this, okay, I'm saying spoilers, so I got to put a spoiler in here because this bothered me in the book so much, is how Anil and Lena did not end up together. I wanted them to end up together. I wanted Anil to bring Lena and her whole family and those two kids to America, and they live a wonderful life and everything is fine. That's how I wanted it to end. I mean, the ending itself was good. Like, I'm happy with it. It wasn't like a ending, but that's kind of how I wanted it to wrap up. Is that wrong of me? What did you guys think? Did you want it to wrap up a different way? Did you appreciate the way that it did end up? Let me know. And also, let me know down there if you had any other thoughts from this book. I just am so glad I live where I do, but I am really happy to have seen, and this is assuming this is accurate, I am happy to have seen kind of the two sides, like people coming to North America and kind of what they have to go through, even though, you know, this is kind of just a one character. Some people have to go through a lot less or a lot worse. And my phone's ringing. Hold on one sec. Okay, so that was a telemarketer that interrupted my train of thought. So hopefully I'm actually going to talk exactly where I left off. So I really do like, assuming that this book is accurate, I do like seeing other perspectives of people coming to this country and seeing how people live in other cultures. It's always nice to kind of compare and contrast, because there was a lot of positives about the culture in India, you know, how family is so important, community is important, how they'd settle disputes, like things like that. I really appreciated and wish we could kind of incorporate into how we live our daily lives. So let me know down in the comments, what are your thoughts on this book? What did you like? What did you not like? Did you like the ending? What did you think about, you know, the beginning and end being a chess game and kind of tying together? What were your thoughts on that? Why do you think the author did that? Let me know. And I think I will pick the next book again. So I'll show you what that is right now. So we are going to read The Wanderers by Meg Howrey. And if you didn't watch my book haul that I posted a while ago, this is the one where they're planning on putting people on Mars, but then they put the people like sort of test subjects in that. Remember how I said it was like Biodome, the movie? So apparently this book is much more than a science fiction type book. So I'm really excited to read this. So I'm hoping that you will read along with me, and then at the end of June, we'll come together again and have a hopefully a little virtual discussion about this. And I am hoping if this gets popular, like maybe I will do these virtual book club sessions as lives, which we can actually talk in real time. That might be kind of fun. So let me know if you'd be interested in doing these as a live stream. I'm scared to do a live stream, but it might be worth it to try and kind of fun. So let me know your thoughts on that as well. And also, boy, I have so much for you to say in the comments today. Also, remember to put your suggestions for upcoming book titles. So please put the book title and the author so that I can find it. And then we can choose from those for subsequent virtual book club sessions. So I hope you enjoyed your time with me today, and I hope you'll go down in the comments and leave your opinions and thoughts about The Golden Sun. And while you're down there, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time.